D-Day is the most famous invasion in military history. Most people vaguely familiar with the Normandy landings can name one of the beaches, normally Omaha due to the film Saving Private Ryan. On D-Day there were 5 landing zones, 2 American, codenamed Utah and Omaha, and 3 British Commonwealth landing zones, codenamed Gold, Juno and Sword. Little known about today and virtually written out of the story of D-Day, there was in fact a 6th landing zone to the east of Sword, which was given the codename Band. Band can be seen marked on the personal D-Day map of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and was to have been the site of 2 Commando operations, codenamed Operation Frog and Operation Deer. Located to the east of Sword, Band was divided into 4 beaches designated Able, Baker, Charlie and Dog, and stretched from the west breakwater at Ouistreham to the outskirts of Villers-sur-Mer. The question may be asked of what purpose Band played in the overall D-Day plan. One of the biggest problems that faced the Allies during the invasion was the number and position of German gun batteries along the Normandy coast. The various caliber of guns were protected in thick concrete casemates, designed to protect the guns and occupants from bombardment. In total, the naval forces alone would bombard 23 German gun batteries from the Cotentin Peninsula to the mouth of the Seine. Prior to the naval bombardment, the batteries were subjected to bombardment by RAF Bomber Command and the US 8th Air Force along with the US 9th Air Force. Bombardment was not the only way to neutralize the German gun batteries situated along the coast. Another means of neutralizing the batteries was through the storming of them, through the use of airborne forces as occurred at Merville, or through the use of commandos or rangers as occurred at Pointe du Hoc. In the area of Band there were 5 gun batteries: Merville, Lamont, Holgate, Benneville and Villerville. Lying to the east of the Orne River, these batteries could fire on the eastern flank of Sword, thereby potentially disrupting the British landings, or, alternatively, they had the potential to engage Allied shipping offshore, thereby disrupting the transportation of men and material to Normandy, thus affecting the Allied build-up on the eastern flank of the invasion front. One of the most important batteries in the Band area was the Merville Battery, which was closest to the eastern edge of Sword. Allied intelligence believed that the battery was comprised of heavy caliber 6-inch guns, which would pose a serious threat to the landings on Sword, situated 8 miles away. On the 6th of June 1944, men of the 9th Parachute Battalion of the 6th Airborne Division, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Terence Otway, during the pre-dawn hours, landed and assaulted the battery. During the assault, the British airborne forces discovered that the guns were not 6-inch heavy artillery, but rather were Czech 3.9-inch field howitzers. With limited means, the British airborne troops disabled the guns as best they could and withdrew. Following the withdrawal of the British airborne forces, the Germans would bring 2 of the guns back into action. 2 further batteries along the coast were a cause for concern, those at Holgate and Benneville. The Holgate battery contained 6.1-inch guns, weapons that were of First World War vintage that had been captured from the French in 1940. The Germans aimed to enclose the guns in casemates. However, by the time of D-Day, only 2 of the casemates had been completed. Benneville, known as the Mount Kinnisay Battery, was located 5 miles down the coast from Holgate and also contained 4 6.1-inch guns that had been captured from the French in 1940. 2 weeks prior to D-Day, the Holgate Battery was subjected to an attack by B-26 Marauder bombers, which released over 500 tons of bombs in the vicinity of the battery. The attack rendered 2 of the 6 guns inoperable. On the night of the 5th of June, RAF Bomber Command targeted the battery, but caused minimum damage. The original plan for neutralizing the Holgate and Benneville batteries was an amphibious assault, hence the creation of the landing zone Band. The assault against Tollgate was given the codename Operation Deer, while Operation Frog was to be the assault against the Benneville Battery. The operations were to have been carried out by 4-6 Royal Marine Commando. Due to the importance of knocking out the batteries, it was decided that Tollgate and Benneville would be subjected to bombardment by the supporting fleet offshore during the pre-invasion bombardment. Tollgate was subjected to bombardment by the 15-inch gun monitor HMS Roberts from a range of 11 miles, while Benneville was subjected to bombardment from HMS Ramillies. Benneville would also be bombarded by HMS Warspite and HMS Roberts. During the invasion plans, if the naval bombardment failed to silence the batteries, then the men of 4-6 Commando would be landed on Barnes Dog Beach late on the 6th of June, or approximately around 0200 hours on the 7th of June to conduct Operation Deer, with a further landing along the coast being made in Operation Frog. On the morning of the 6th of June, from 0523, HMS Roberts opened fire against the Tollgate Battery, firing 27 15-inch shells, while HMS Ramillies opened fire at around the same time against the Benneville Battery. Ramillies would keep up her fire for approximately 80 minutes, silencing the German guns. The batteries subsequently remained silent for the remainder of the day. At 8 p.m, the transports Prince Albert and Princess Margaret, which had carried 4-6 Commando across the Channel, rendezvoused with HMS Largs, the headquarter ship for the Sword area, whereupon a briefing was given on the operations. At 8:30 p.m. on D-Day, Operations Frog and Deer were cancelled. With neither battery having shown signs of life since the morning, it was deemed that the operation was unnecessary. At the same time, the weather conditions were deemed to be unsuitable for re-embarking the commandos following the completion of their tasks. Subsequently, the Prince Albert and Princess Margaret departed the Sword area for Juno, where 4-6 Commando were landed on the 7th of June 1944. Operations Deer and Frog have faded into obscurity since the D-Day landings. With them has faded knowledge of Band, the forgotten 6th landing zone, which has almost been completely written out of the history books.
Many thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more updates, like and share. You can also help to support the channel at Patreon. Details are in the description box below.